As I continue my quest for cool audio tech, I stumbled across this right here. This is the Melonare wireless in-ear monitor system. This is the model PM1. It's kind of an entry level. There are monitoring systems that are like thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm not there yet. You might recognize the name Melonare. They're actually the same guys who make the wireless microphones that are reviewed on my channel maybe a week or two ago. I really do like them. I have been using them a lot for voiceover. So the joys of Amazon, you buy one thing and it's like, hey, but wait, there's more. So I saw this. I started thinking about it, doing a little more research on it. And I was like, you know what? I think I want this. I want to try it. So I now have it. So we're going to take a look at it and we're going to see if it's something that you might want and what the applications of it could be for you in your particular setup. So it comes with a little user manual here. Nothing exciting. Gives you the box contents, which includes a wireless transmit and receiver, wireless being the key word here. USB-C cable and a couple different audio cables. You got your standard 3.5 millimeter, your 6.35 TR male to 3.5 female, your 6.35 TRS male to female, an audio splitter cable, and the user manual. And then here's all your cables in the box here. It comes with tons of stuff. I mean, pretty much any connection you're going to need for however your current sound setup is, you're going to be covered. This is the one that I'm most interested in, though, because what I use right now is my Sennheiser headphones. Nice heavy-duty headphones. Cable is massively long. I think the cable on these headphones are like 15 feet long, and I do plug them into my... downstairs, I plug them into my shit stack, into my Magni, but I got my Magni going to my Modi. I plug them into there, and that gives me my preamp and then like nice, really clear audio downstairs. I love them. I highly recommend them. I've done a video on these before. I will put this in my audio playlist. I'm just going to throw out there. Go check my audio playlist. I try to curate some good content for you guys if you're audiophiles like me. And then upstairs, I use an older pair of Sennheisers, and I use the Shit Hell 2. The problem I've been running into is that the way I have my setup with the long USB cable that runs all the way around the room, comes in the back, it's all wired, everything nice and clear. I like it, but I was wondering, like, can I get away with a wireless solution? Is it possible to be able to find a good way to get a nice, clear wireless signal to my headphones and basically turn any headphones essentially into a wireless solution? That's what these are for. You got a transmitter and a receiver. They connect very simple through stereo or mono. You're right. You connect them up and you're good to go. Now, these do run on batteries, obviously. There's a little tab here to kind of set that up, and because they're wireless, right? They're going to have to be battery powered. Wouldn't that make the most sense? And they basically charge wirelessly. So that's the other reason I got these. I don't want to keep having to swap batteries out. And I want to try them out and see, like, could I get decent audio wirelessly and using different types of headphones. Now, the one limitation of these that I already knew going into this is that the impedance that these things drive is not going to be as good as a wired solution. That just makes sense. If you're not really familiar with how impedance works, basically what you have here, I'm trying to look and see if I can find the impedance on the site. Does it even say? It doesn't. Signal noise ratio is not impedance. Dynamic range, sampling rate, latency, no. Okay. So we'll try them. I want to know, like I said, this is just the fun experiment for me, but I think I could find some good use for these things. But basically the way impedance works, you need heavy power to drive heavy headphones, okay? I don't mean heavy like heavy on your head, like, oh my God, these things weigh a ton, although they typically do. I'm talking about headphones with a high impedance that have that nice big sound stage. You're going to need a lot of power to drive them, okay? And what you'll find is if you buy really nice headphones, like really like a high-end pair of Sennheisers or Audeze, where the impedance is like typically 300 ohms, if you tried to plug that into, let's say, your phone, and you did like all the adapter cables to get a phone cable to like connect just off like your USB-C on your phone or whatever, you're going to crank your phone volume up to max volume, and these things aren't going to drive the signal. It'll sound, you'll hear music, but it's going to sound very faint because you're trying to power something with something that isn't designed for a lot of power. If you recall on some of my older audio videos where I got the Astro TR1s, right? Or the TR40s, Astro TR40s, the tournament ready 40s. I got them when I picked up Days Gone. When I had Days Gone on PlayStation 4, I wanted a really nice pair of sound because that was when games were really starting to explore sound. This was before the PlayStation 5's dedicated Tempest audio engine. This was really before directional sound became a thing. It was something that like we kind of knew existed, but video games weren't really investing significantly in them, right? So I went ahead and I picked up the TR1s. Now those were 40 ohm impedance headphones and had a little tiny receiver box that plugged just in a standard USB to your console. That's what gave me the original idea of running the USB cables all around my room to get a nice wired signal on my PS4. They had a little boom mic. They sounded phenomenal for the time. And they're still good headphones. I gave them to Kevin, and I'm sure he's using them constantly. Or maybe Connor is. I hope one of those two are. If not, Kevin, bring them back because we'll do more tests with them with this, okay? But the idea, right, all kidding aside, the idea here was that we were going to get really good sound at a low impedance. And that was what the whole kind of tournament-ready system was designed to do. Basically plug it in because, console USB ports have a low impedance. This solution would probably work really, really well with low impedance headphones. Will it drive a high impedance signal? Probably not, but I still think there might be some solution for this. So this is basically like, even though it's designed to be a studio monitor, I think this might be a kind of no frills way to get wireless audio from lower impedance headphones. And that's what I wanted to experiment and play with. I thought it would be a fun little thing to do, and that's what we're going to get into. So I'm going to stop the video here, and we're going to go over to the setup here in a minute upstairs, and we're going to take a look at some cables and try some things and see what we can get. What kind of quality can we get out of this? And is it something that you might want to consider? So we're going to stop here, and we will be right back. All right, so as expected, my HD 650s require way too much driving signal, so they don't work as well as I wanted them to. I thought they'd sound a little bit better. You can still hear the audio, but I would not recommend a high impedance headphone with this solution. But my little Bose earbuds that I have in, these things work awesome. So I'm gonna walk you through the very basic setup. So normally, here's what I was talking about before. Normally, here's at the other end of my Sennheisers, right? Normally, I plug them into, don't knock over Nova. Come on, bro. Oh, boy. Normally, I plug them into my Magni right here, okay? And if I want to listen to headphones, I plug them in. They work. Everything's good. But you'll notice I have a different plug in here. Let's see this plug here. We're going to follow this cord all the way down. Wrong cord. We're going to follow this cord all the way down, and it comes to here. And here you have the Melonare PM1s. They are connected, right? Now, they are transmitting right now on mono. I'll flip the switch in a second because I bumped it picking it up. The one thing I'm not thrilled about, though, for some reason, they put these little like plastic pieces of, these little plastic stickers on here. I don't know why. I guess to hold the case together in case, maybe for transport or whatever. But you could clearly see it leaves like this really nasty mark. I can get some Goo Gone to rub that off, but it seems kind of pointless because this case doesn't pop open easily. But here you can see there's the USB to charge it. On the side over here, you have various channels if you're getting like different types of input distortion. So you can change the different channels. You got a power button. Over here is just more plastic, and then you got a clip that you could, clip it onto your belt or whatever. You'll notice that the green box is illuminated, which means I have power. And you'll notice the two blue circles are illuminated, which means it is successfully paired. Well, what is it paired to? Well, I'll show you. It's paired to the receiver over here. And this says receiver on it. It's still got that stupid like sticky stuff on it, which I'll have to use a glue gun to get off. And there you can see that it has the power button, or it's illuminated, which means it's got power. You see it's paired. This one only has power up and volume down. Nothing on this side. Obviously still has the same USB cable. And real quick with the USB cable, I should show you. It's a really cool little 2-in-1 USB cable they give you. So you plug it in and you got two USB-C connectors so you could charge it all at one time. And basically these two things are now connected wirelessly. So I was watching my boy, there's me. I was watching my boy Brent, right? So turning on his video, and I have in a pair of my Bose headphones. These Bose headphones are the other end of this cable here. They go down, they connect to my ear. So when I hit play on Brent's video, and Brent's not gonna copyright strike me because he's my bro, I can actually hear the audio coming out of these headphones. I don't know if you can pick that up or not. Now, what the cool thing is it's wireless, right? So you can see I still have the connection here, and we're listening to Brent talk about the Kill or Be Killed series review. Okay, so I'm listening to him talk about his comic book, right? And I'm walking away, and you can see here, I want to show you, it's dark, but that's fine. We're just looking at distance, not light. You can see it's still connected, and I'm going to leave this room, and I'm going to walk, and look how far I'm walking. Still walking. And I'm going to go stand over here and turn on the light in here so you can see a little better. I'm standing in the kitchen now, and you can see the connection all the way from here to through that wall. And I can hear them crystal clear. No issues. I can't imagine a world in which you are connected farther than this. You could be. Now this says it'll record up to about, I think it's at 150 feet on the box. So this works. This is awesome. And this powers like basic headphones. This absolutely would work with any setup you have. So I'm going to stop it here, jump back on my big camera, and we're going to talk about kind of a little debrief, all right? All right, so they work. This is actually exactly what I wanted. Basically, you're having two boxes that are connected wirelessly. Yes, you can use them as studio monitors. The transmitter does include a feedback loop so you can hear things. Now, these are used primarily for musicians to make sure that the music they're playing is heard. You can hear it locally in your headset, and then you can connect it to something else and make sure it works. I'm still a fan of wired, personally. I like wired. I think wired has a much cleaner signal. Obviously, in the case of some of the higher powered headphones that I'm using, you're going to want that big driving power. And yes, they do make monitors that do have a bigger impedance with them. They have much bigger batteries. They don't last as long. From what I can tell, this is supposed to last, according to the manual, I think they said a couple hours. It would definitely last a game session. I can't see why it wouldn't. I feel like this thing sips power, especially with the battery. I'm curious to see if it says how long they think it would last. But very easy to set up. You're just plugging in one connection to another connection. It says it has 10 different channels for you to work through. So if there's a distortion in any channel, just flip the button, make sure they're still paired, and you shouldn't really have an issue with any kind of distortion in that regards. It says it's 130-foot coverage. I mean, you saw me walk to my kitchen through like 2 or 3 external walls. I can't imagine you would need to consume audio any farther than that. But these work. So if you have a nice pair of headphones, like for me, I was using my my Bose in-ear headphones here, right? I'm using these. And these just go right in my ear. Very low impedance to drive. They don't require a lot of signal, or a lot of signal power, I should say. And I wanted to listen to something remotely. I could, and I don't have to have that long cable running through the room. I could see this absolutely working on a console. I could see you plugging in one end of this into your PlayStation, and I could see you plugging the other end into your ears, and it would work. I could see you listening to, if you have a central sound system or you're using some sort of Plex server or something, and you want to listen to music inside your house, I could see you plugging these in and walking around and having a central place to do that. If you download a lot of stuff on a laptop or on your main computer, and that's kind of your main server, but you want to listen to music somewhere else in the house, you can. If you're watching YouTube on one place and you don't want to carry your cell phone around in your pocket and you don't have YouTube Premium like I do, love you, Kevin, and you're afraid that you're going to have YouTube on in your phone and you're going to bump the power button and turn it off, you could turn YouTube on your computer. You could plug this in and walk around and listen to some of those really long form discussion topics through the system. So it works. It's cool. It sounded good to me. I could definitely tell every so often, you'd hear a slight crackle. I think that's expected with wireless. I know when I did my wireless microphone review and I was walking around through the house, especially up by the landing, I know there were some dead zones where you would be listening to something or you'd hear me talk and I'd cut out very briefly and then it'd pick back up. Same here. It doesn't have any tone or anything to indicate to you whether it's transmitting or not, or if it lost its sync. Obviously, you'd know, right? Because it would just stop playing music. You'd be like, hey, wait a minute, I can't hear anything anymore. But this is a cool little system. I'm sure there are much more practical applications than the one I thought of. The fact that this is a transmitter and receiver, and I was using it for audio specifically, is cool, but you could also use it for microphones. So if you wanted to make a microphone wireless, definitely not a Shure. You're going to need like a cloud lifter on a Shure SM58. This thing drives an insane amount of power. But I think the same thing applies if you had a smaller, cheaper, like a little lavalier microphone that you wanted to record with wirelessly, which actually sounds really cool now. You could do that. It's basically a transmit and receive of anything you want. I just happen to use audio because it's simple, doesn't require a lot of effort on my part to set it up, but it's a cool little wireless bridge that I do think has some practical applications for places where you want to connect something, but you don't necessarily want to have long runs of cable. So cool. It's fun. It was a fun experiment. I'm going to keep these. I'm going to put them in my toolkit of random things I have, and I guarantee you I'm going to find a use for it, and I'm going to enjoy it. So if you're interested in trying to get a decent way to do wireless audio, I would recommend checking these out. I think they're like $60 on Amazon maybe, but it's the Melonare wireless in-ear monitor system, the PM1 model. I don't think there's other models that exist, but it's cool. And if you are a musician, plug in 2 headsets or use plug in your guitar or something into this. I don't know, whatever you'd want to do. And you could jam out in one place and record somewhere else if you wanted to like do, if you didn't have a wireless thing like me and you want it to be wireless, you could be. Kind of cool, right? I don't know. I like tech. Hope you found this video interesting and informative. If you did, thumbs it up. If you didn't, thumbs it up. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.